Hello mathematicians. Today we see one more complex analysis problem asked in June 2014, part B problem. Okay. So it is about radius of convergence of power series, which is an important concept in any competitive exam. So I try to give the I have tried to explain the concept of radius of convergence as clear as possible theoretically, or I prefer to say geometrically. Okay, so if you understand the true geometric meaning of radius of convergence, then doing the problems will be much easier compared to the typical formula oriented approach. Okay, so usually you know the radius of convergence, the formula for radius of convergence, you apply that formula, then you get the answer. That is one way of doing, but the true essence of such problems can be understood if you understand the geometric meaning of what is radius of convergence. Once you know that, many problems can be solved just by looking at the problem. Okay, so let's look at the problem. So let p of x be a polynomial of real variable x of degree k greater than or equal to 1. Okay, in this problem they are given it is a real variable. Once you done this problem, you think about it, why, what happens if it is a complex variable. Okay, think about it. It's a some one small point to think about. And then so we have considered p of x a polynomial of degree k, and k is at least 1. Now we consider the power series. So f of z equal to summation n equal to 0 to infinity p of n z power n. Okay, so in this polynomial I'm substituting all the non-negative integers. So it is a real, so in this polynomial if you substitute p of 0, p of 1, sorry, if you substitute 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on, you get many numbers, right? Possibly complex number. Okay, and you put all those numbers here, you get a power series. We are interested in this power series. Then we want to find the radius of convergence of f of z. Okay, again, so there is some universality here. So what is the meaning of that? They are saying that whatever polynomial you take, they are saying that the answer will be either this or this. Okay, so so now this p of x is arbitrary, but the answer is a fixed number. So from that you understand that whatever polynomial you substitute here, the answer is always the same. That is why they could able to ask this kind of questions. Okay, so what easily you can do is you substitute some simple polynomial here in place of p of n. Then for whatever the answer you get, that is the answer to this problem. For example, I take this p of x to be a polynomial of degree 1. Degree 1 means what I can take? I can take p of n to p of x equal to x. Okay, if I take I'm sorry, I can take p of x equal to x. Then what is p of n? P of n equal to n. Okay, then what is what we get? What is f of z? F of z equal to summation n greater than or equal to 0 n times z of n. Okay, now for this this simple power series, it is easy to calculate the radius of convergence. If you calculate using the formula of radius of convergence, you will get to 1. So the answer is 1. But again, this is in the exam you are supposed to spend only this much time. So we, if you notice, we have spent hardly a minute to answer this problem. Okay, but again, you have to know the concept. Okay, what is happening here, what is radius of convergence, so that any other question regarding complex and any radius of convergence also you should be able to answer. Okay, so we'll see what is a radius of convergence first. So a typical power series looks like this. So f of z equal to summation n greater than or equal to 0. So n greater than or equal to 0 means n equal to 0 to infinity. Okay, summation n greater than or equal to 0, some coefficient an. In our problem, it is p of n. Then z minus a whole power n. Okay, so in our problem, in here we take a equal to 0. in place of a we have 0. This power series is called the power series of, this is called the power series expansion of this function f around the point a. Okay, so this is the form, this is a one form of, this is a form of a power series of the function f of z about the point a. Okay, here we understand one important thing. Okay, when this series converges, this power series when it is converges, that is a question. What is the meaning of that? So now there is a variable z. Okay, so for what, well, for what complex variable, complex number z this series converges, that is the question in the radius of convergence. Okay, so I can put any complex number here and I can keep check whether this series is convergence or not. So here we make an important observation. Okay, so this is my point A. Okay, I have, and I take a point Z1 here, and I assume that the this power series converges at the point Z1. What is that meaning? So now in Z you replace Z1. Okay, then this ans are some number, z1 is a complex number, a is a complex number, you can take its power, then it will become a number series, actually series of complex number. Then you can look at whether it is converges or not. Okay, if it is but we are assuming that at the point z1 it converges. Okay, now I consider another point z0 whose distance between a and z naught is less than distance between a and z1. Okay, if you look at z naught, clearly the distance between a and z naught is less than a and z1. Okay, now we do some we make some observation. So what we have, modulus of z naught minus a less than or equal to modulus of z1 minus a. So this is distance between a and z naught, this is distance between a and z1. Okay, now I multiply both side by the non-negative quantity modulus of a. Okay, if you that is fine, you can always multiply an inequality by non-negative number, the inequality will be preserved. Now we are as I said above, we assume that this series is absolutely convergent at the point z equal to z1. Okay, what does that mean? Absolutely convergence means you put z equal to z1 and then you take the modulus, you will get a real number, then sum of that series is convergent. Okay, then what, so if you assume this series is convergent, okay, absolute, so what is the meaning of this series is absolutely convergent? I substitute so this series is absolutely convergent if summation mod an mod z1 minus a whole power n. So we are saying that this series is absolutely convergent at the point z equal to z1. That means that for z I have substituted z1, then I have taken the modulus. Okay, if I take modulus, I can split the modulus like this and I get this series. Now you see, yeah, this is a real number and I have taken a modulus, and sorry, this can be a complex number, so this an can be a complex number, and z1 minus a can be a complex number, but once you take the modulus everything is a real number. So it is basically a some real sum of real numbers, series of real numbers, even series of non-negative numbers. Okay, so that we have done in the sequence and series case. Its convergence can be checked by using root test, ratio test. First to start with the comparison test and so on. So now this is the nth term of this power series. Now what we have proved here, so if you look at this side, modulus of an modulus of z2 minus 1, so I can take the power also both side, I take nth power also both side, then this inequality shows that this term is greater than this term. Okay, or equally this term is less than this term, and the series whose nth term is this term is convergent. That is what we are assuming. At the point z1, the series is absolutely convergent. That means that this series is convergent, but this is the nth term of this series, of a convergent series. Now this term is dominated by this term. That means that this series summation modulus of an modulus of z naught minus a whole power n, this series also convergent. Why this series is convergent? Because each term of this series is dominated by this series. So by comparison test, this series also convergent. This series is convergence means that this same power series, if it is converges at this point, then it converges at any point inside this circle. Okay, so you take z1 and you find the distance between a and z1, then you draw the circle of that radius around the point a, and you take any point inside this circle. Basically you take any point inside this disk. Okay, then inside all those points the series is going to be convergent. Okay, if I take a point outside here, that I don't know, it might be converged here, diverged here, I don't know. But once at one point the series is convergent, then any point inside the corresponding disk, the series will be convergent. Okay, so that is why we always that is why always the this is called region of convergence or disk of convergence. Somehow the points where the power series converges takes a point of a disk because of this region. Okay, so now the suppose the same power series diverges at this point z1. Okay, then you take some point outside here. Okay, suppose then I take a point z2 whose modulus is whose who is uh, who is staying further away from a. Okay, for if you consider this z2 and I assume at z1 the series is divergent, then at z2 also the series is divergent. Okay, the same argument, the same comparison test we can use. We can conclude that if this power series, if this power series diverges at this point, then outside, so you again draw the same disk and you take a point outside the disk. At that point the series will be divergent. Okay, if this point is the function, the power series convergent, then you look at the inside the disk. Okay, at this point if it is divergent, you can consider outside the disk. Okay, so outside definitely it will be at this point. If the series is divergent, then outside definitely it will be diverges, but that doesn't mean that inside it will diverge, that we don't know. Okay, so inside, I mean, that doesn't mean that inside it is inside it is convergent, that you cannot say. Okay, so think about it. This is a rough idea of radius of convergence. Why we always look at it as a disk, this is the reason. So now at this point if it is convergent, then inside it is always convergent. So what you can do, you can look at the largest disk, largest possible disk where this power series is convergent, and you want to find the radius of that disk. Okay, so that radius is what is called the radius of convergence. Okay, so we'll see some example. For example, you take this series f of z equal to summation n greater than or equal to 0 z power n or z minus 0 whole power n. So basically this is a power series about the point 0. So I take the point 0 and this is very say this is very bad looking unit circle. Let me try to draw some nice unit circle, better than the past. Okay, so this is a power series about the origin. So I look at the disk about with the center at origin. If I substitute the value, the complex number 1, I substitute the complex number 1 in this power series, what I'll get, this is summation 1. Summation 1 will be like 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus etc. That is clearly divergent, right? Therefore, what we have is at this point the series is divergent. Okay. If at that point series is divergent, if you draw the this circle, okay, with the center at this point of radius this length, okay. Now the outside everywhere, what we know, the series is divergent, because once at one point it is divergent, we always look at the outside of the circle. Outside the circle it will be divergent. And now we want to answer the question, we want to see whether inside it is convergent or not, and on the boundary we want to check whether it is convergent or not. Okay. So always given a power series, you want to check in the entire complex plane what are the points where this series is convergent. Correct. Now already we have with our divergent argument we have shown that outside this disk everywhere it is divergent. So only this finite, I mean finite means it's a bounded disk. So only inside this disk and on the boundary of the disk only we have to see. So we consider a point inside the disk. Okay, I take a z naught here inside. Then I substitute a z naught in the power series. Then I get summation n greater than or equal to z power n, and I look at the modulus. So this I'll get modulus of z naught will be r. Okay. I take modulus of z naught to be r, and then this r will be strictly less than 1. Since r is strictly less than 1, this is a geometric series with this r is strictly less than 1. That means that this series summation n greater than or equal to 0 z power and this power series is absolutely convergent in this disk, because this series is absolutely convergent means that you have to take modulus, and so in this disk means that you have to take an arbitrary point in this disk. I have taken z naught arbitrary. Absolutely convergence means you have to take the modulus and check whether it is convergent or not. So I take modulus and I look at the power series, I get a geometric series. So this geometric series convergent whenever this modulus of r less than 1. But we have r less than 1. R is since it is a norm, it is a non-negative number, so r less than 1 is sufficient to conclude that so this series is converges to 1 by 1 minus r, that we know. Therefore this series also convergent. Okay, this series converges means that this series is absolutely convergent in the disk mod z less than 1, or in particular this disk inside we know. Okay, so inside everywhere it is convergent. At this point we know it is divergent. Therefore, what is the largest disk at which this series is convergent? That is basically the interior of this disk. We cannot take the circle, because on the circle at some point we know for sure the series is divergent. Okay. Therefore, the radius of convergence is 1. Okay. So once you know some point where it is divergent, then by using some this geometric series kind of argument to conclude the radius of convergence right away. Okay, maybe you prefer the method using the formula, that is fine. But if you for example if you go to work in complex analysis and do research and all, then you should know the concept well. Okay, that time formula alone won't help you. Okay. Anyway, so we get the answer that for this power series radius of convergence is 1. Okay, so now let's we do our form our problem. So what is the form? So let r be the radius of convergence of the power series. What is the formula? 1 by r equal to limit supremum mod n plus 1 by mod n. Or equally we can take it to be limit supremum mod n whole power 1 by n. Okay, any of this expression. So sometime this expression will be helpful, sometime this expression will be helpful. And so this is our power series about origin. I mean, this is the power series given in the problem. And what is the coefficient? Coefficient an is p of n. And we want to find radius of convergence, we want to find this limit. If limit mod an plus 1 by mod an exist, then that will be equal to limit sup mod an plus 1 by an, that will be equal to limit inf mod an plus 1 mod an also. Okay, so I mean if this limit exists, then we don't need the supremum. So actually in our example this limit will exist, limit an plus 1 by an will exist, so we don't need this supremum. Okay, so we calculate an plus 1 by an. So what is an plus 1? It is p of n plus 1. What is an? It is p of n. Okay. Here I will we will see a one nice limit problem. That problem alone has its own importance in the exams. Okay. So basically I take a polynomial p of x of degree k. Similarly, I consider another polynomial of degree k. Okay, note that they have the same degree. Then we want to find the limit n tend to infinity p of n by q of n. So this is equal to limit n tend to infinity. So in place of x, I have to substitute n. So I get a naught plus a1 n plus etc. ak n power k. That is what I got. In q of n, I substitute n in place of x. What I get b naught plus b1 n plus etc. bk n power k. Okay. Now I take a n power k from the numerator. I'll get a naught by n power k, a1 by n power k minus 1 and so on. Leading term will be just a power k. Similarly, I take a n power k from the denominator. I get numerator n power k, denominator n power k will cancel. We get this denominator. If I apply limit n tend to infinity here, all these terms will cancel, will be goes to 0. This is 10 to 0, everything 10 to 0. Only we left with the leading coefficient, this leading coefficient, because they don't have any n's in the denominator. So we get ak by bk. Okay, so what we have noticed is, if you have a polynomial of same degree, okay, in the real variable, and if I apply limit n tend to infinity p of n by q of n, the limit value will be the quotient of the leading coefficients ak by bk. Okay, now we're going to use the same idea to calculate limit n tend to infinity p of n plus 1 by p of n. So we have p of n equal to a naught. So I take p of x equal to a naught plus a1 x plus a n x power k. Therefore, p of n will be a naught plus a1 n plus etc. a n n power k. P of n plus 1 means in place of x I have to substitute n plus 1. So I get a naught plus a1 n plus 1 plus etc. plus a n n plus 1 whole power k. Now, what is the leading coefficient? So this is some polynomial in which we have substituted n in place of x. Now this is, if you look at this, we have substituted n plus 1 in place of x, or now you can rewrite this and so okay, let's see. So what is the leading coefficient of this polynomial? That is the question. So before here you will always have n plus, I mean the term, one term before this will be a n minus 1 n plus 1 power k minus 1. So in none of this term you will have n power k. So n power k will come from here only. So let's calculate. So n plus 1 whole power k equal to, so n plus 1 whole power k you expand in the binomial, you get n power k plus k choose 1 n power k minus 1 plus etc. plus k choose k. So if you multiply n power a n inside, we see that this in this polynomial also leading term is an. Okay, because all these are n power k minus 1 n power k minus 2, then this is the constant term. Okay, constant term is 1. So what we got is, again in this polynomial also the leading term will be an n power k. Okay, so leading coefficient of p of n plus 1 equal to an. That's what we do. Now limit n tend to infinity p of n plus 1 by p of n. What is the value? We just saw that whenever you are applying it in a polynomial, the answer will be the ratio of the leading coefficients. Therefore, leading coefficient of p of n plus 1 by leading coefficient of p of n, both have the same leading coefficient a and a n, therefore this is equal to 1. Therefore limit n tend to infinity p of n plus 1 by p of n equal to 1. Okay, so you can take the model, put the modulus and take the limit also, no problem. Modulus is a continuous function, so you can take the limit inside. Now we got by the so 1 by r equal to 1, but that means that r is 1. Therefore the radius of convergence of the given power series is equal to 1. Okay, yeah, so try to understand whatever the things I said. If this at this point, if it is converged, then inside it converges. If at this point it is diverged, then outside it diverges. That is just a comparison test argument. It is in many interviews they ask what is radius of convergence. Okay, if you say this is what radius of convergence, no, then you then that is not a good answer, because this is a formula to calculate the radius of convergence. What is radius of convergence? So this whatever I just told you about the largest disk in which the power series convergence, power series converge absolutely, and the radius of that disk is what is called radius of convergence. Okay, that is a very important thing. I hope you understand what is radius of convergence, and once you know the definition of radius convergence, you can solve any problem easily. Okay, okay guys, take care. I'll see you in some different problem. Thank you.